What happens when a home invader gets shot and lies about what happened in your house and starts playing the victim card? In this video, we'll break down this question with top criminal defense attorney Tom Grieve. But first, a quick reminder, we have a gun giveaway going on. It's happening right now, but it ends really soon. All you need to do to enter is click in the link down below in the description and you can learn which brand new gun you could win. Tom, I'm sure you kind of had a chuckle there about a home invader telling a lie. So that came through as a question, and I'm going to try to clear it up a little bit because sometimes questions are not put in such a manner that I really understand them at first. So let's assume that you have survived a home invasion and you have used deadly force to stop the threat. The guy doesn't die. And police go to question him, and he's telling a whole different story.
Impossible.
Would something like that ever happen?
Never once in the history of humanity has a home invader done anything but tell only the truth.
The absolute truth to any investigating officer. Yes,
I mean,
sir,
yes. Right. For those of you who cannot detect sarcasm in the audience, that's a yes.
Okay.
Right.
So how do we combat this? Because to me, it's pretty clear. I mean, working in law enforcement, it's like, everybody always lies about everything. We're gonna find out sooner or later because there'll be some evidence or something like that. But how do our viewers combat this idea that, wait a minute, somebody's giving police a completely different story about the events that unfolded?
Hire the best criminal defense attorney you can. Mm-hmm. I mean, at the end of the day, people, and for me, clients, often feel like they have to do it all. Mm-hmm. And the problem is that they get focused in this attack mode. And as a defense attorney, it's like, look, let me do that. That's why I'm here, to cross-examine these witnesses. It's not your job to do that. And don't get me wrong, you certainly have a role to play. And talking about what actually happened, giving the layout to the home, and do you have any prior relationship to this person? Did you make any 3 a.m. emergency television repair calls?
Absolutely.
All those sorts of things have a time and place to go through. But if we're talking about you're in court, there on the witness stand, this is where you hiring the best attorney that you can needs to pay off.
Mm-hmm. And even before we get to that point into the courtroom, there's going to be a witness statement that you get to give to the investigators. And I would imagine that you need to, one, consult with your attorney because you've shot someone before you go and start talking to the investigators. Make sure you have consulted with your attorney and hopefully have an attorney by your side if possible. But then this witness statement, you're giving the police officers this statement. I imagine that articulating the facts as best you can is really going to start the case going in the right direction.
Yeah, people's natural instinct is going to be, to yell and to curse and to say all those sorts of things. The problem is that if you are in the midst of giving a witness statement, and God forbid if you don't have your attorney and a good one at your side, mm-hmm. The problem is now we better hope that there's a good investigator who's talking to you, a good detective, mm-hmm. who is going to be able to understand and basically see the noise of your reaction, but is still doing a job of teasing out, going through what happened chronologically in a clear and concise manner to establish a timeline of events, who was where, when this happened, when that happened, when the next thing happened, and what did you do next, and making sure that there's no holes in the story. Mm-hmm. And emotional outbursts, which are particularly under these circumstances, understandable, they risk jeopardizing your defense by giving a screwed up and incomplete statement if you're choosing to give one. And as a result, there could be critical pieces of evidence that you never gave to investigators because you know what, you blew up, you screwed up the investigation, or maybe that detective wasn't doing the world's greatest job in the first place, or at least if they were, now they aren't. And this is why you really need to decompress with your attorney. If you're going to give a statement, if that's what you decide to do, then you need to make sure that you've got everything out ready in front of you, ready to go.
Mm-hmm. And I think in this case, and for the person who sent this question in, we can safely assume that the criminal is going to lie. That the statement the criminal gives is, at the very least, not going to be the exact same statement that you, the defending homeowner, is going to give. But there's something that you often say. I love quoting it. The facts are the facts.
Right.
And if you can make a well-reasoned statement with the assistance of your attorney, I gotta believe that slow down, calm down, call your attorney, and start working things from there. Because the bad guy is going to be saying all kinds of crazy stuff.
Going to.
That and if he starts saying it in front of you while they're still hauling him away, no, I was on my way to church when I stumbled through your bedroom window, and I don't know why you shot me.
Right.
I don't think your response at that point needs to be anything other than, I'll call my attorney and we'll get this ball.
I don't know how that gun came into my back pocket. I don't, how did my fingerprints wind up on it? Yeah. All those sorts of questions will have a way of kind of working themselves out. And, I think in the vast majority of home invasion cases that I've seen, either as a prosecutor or as a defense attorney, you're talking about people with oftentimes, let's just call them checkered pasts, who are doing the home invasions. There's typically some convictions on there. The fact that they were in your home, without an excuse, at 3 a.m. There's a Latin phrase in law, res ipsa loquitur. See, I didn't screw that one up, and that stands for the thing speaks for itself. Okay, they're there at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Why are they there at 3 a.m.? Are we really going to believe? And that's going to color and tinge everything else that they have to say from a credibility standpoint.
Yeah.
But you have a role to play in your case for sure. But being the coach isn't that role. You need to hire the best criminal defense attorney that you can in order to move those pieces as effectively as possible on your behalf.
Outstanding. Well, thank you once again. And folks, I want to thank you for watching all the way to the end of this video. And as I said at the outset, we have a gun giveaway going on. It ends very soon. All you need to do is click on the link down in the description to find out which brand new gun you will have a chance to win. Folks, if you like videos like this, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell. We will let you know every time we come out with something new. I'm Kevin Michalowski, Director of Content for the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. Stay safe. We'll see you in the next video.